I'm a clueless beta. To inherit a $1 billion fortune, I decided to borrow some alpha genes and have a child, no father, just the baby. That night, my self-disciplined Uncle Wesley almost lost his mind. How top tier was the alpha I found? Was he better than Wesley himself? Later that night, when I tried to sneak away on shaky legs, he caught my ankle and pulled me back. 1. When I learned that I could only inherit the family fortune if I had a child, my slow brain took a while to process it. Was my father insane? He was basically setting a trap for his own son. I'm a beta, for crying out loud. The chance of pregnancy for betas is basically zero. I was furious, but I held it in. Until the lawyer said that if I didn't have a child within a year, the entire inheritance would be taken by the state. And my son Nolan would only get $5 million a year to live on. That broke me. I jumped off the couch and stormed out, ready to go yell at my late father at his grave. But the moment I ran out the door, I crashed right into a tall, solid chest. What's wrong? Why are you so upset? A deep, calm voice came from above. I was about to push him away, but instead I clung to him tighter, burying my face in Wesley's chest, ranting and venting everything I'd held back. After a few minutes, Wesley gently pushed me back by the shoulders, keeping just enough distance for me to look into his eyes. It's just money, he said softly. Don't let it make you miserable. How can I not? I shot back. $5 million a year? I'll starve to death. He chuckled quietly, then pulled out a black gold card and handed it to me. Mine is yours. Spend whatever you want. But. No, but. He rarely spoke so firmly. My brother must have lost his mind before he wrote that will. Don't take it seriously. And don't go out there looking for random alphas because of it. 2. That night, I tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep. Wesley was adopted by my grandfather. Technically, he's my uncle, but he's only 7 years older than me. He started from scratch after grad school and is now one of the youngest business leaders in the city. Cold and intimidating to outsiders. But to me, he's always gentle. He tolerates everything about me. Except one thing. He never lets me date anyone. Alphas or omegas, none of them are good for you, he always says. They just want your money. But. I stared at the black card in my hand for a long time. After some hesitation, I finally made up my mind. I got up and went to find him. When I reached his room, I heard a low sound from inside. Like someone struggling to breathe. Uncle Wesley? I called softly, worried. Then, without thinking, I opened the door. Nolan? Don't turn on the lights. Too late. The crystal chandelier lit up the entire room. Wesley was sitting up in bed, half covered by the blanket. He looked startled, his shirt nowhere to be found. My eyes widened. He quickly pulled the covers up higher, clearing his throat. It's midnight. Can't sleep. Had a nightmare. My ears went hot. I looked anywhere but at him. And no. I just wanted to ask you for a favor, to help me find a reliable alpha. Someone good enough, for the inheritance plan. 3. The warmth in Wesley's expression vanished. Something sharp and cold flashed in his eyes, but only for a second. Maybe I imagined it. Why? He asked quietly. I told him the truth. Because one day you'll get married, uncle. I can't keep spending your money forever. He froze for a moment. Then lowered his head and gave a small, quiet laugh. He patted the bed beside him. I won't marry an omega. Really? My eyes lit up. Then I quickly added, I don't mean you should stay single forever. I just what? He prompted softly. I stumbled over my words, my brain a complete mess. Then an image from earlier flashed in my mind. And before I could stop myself, I blurted out. I just think, you're too perfect, uncle. Any omega would fall for you right away. I'd hate to see you get hurt by the wrong person. The moment the words left my mouth, I wanted to disappear. What was I even saying? He's my uncle, a refined, elegant alpha. And I was babbling nonsense like some flustered kid. I lowered my head, waiting for him to scold me. Instead, he said quietly, "You really think that?" "Of course." I blurted out. To my surprise, he didn't lecture me. He actually smiled. Then, before I knew it, he reached out and pulled me into his arms. 5. I quickly shifted away, rubbing my sore backside, and reached to pull the blanket off him. "Let me take a look. If it's serious, you need to go to the hospital." "I'm fine." Wesley's hand gripped the edge of the blanket so tight that the veins on his arm stood out. His face was twisted in pain, but he still refused to move. "Uncle, you're an alpha. Can you please be a little less shy? I just need to check if you're hurt. What if it's serious? I'd never forgive myself." The thought of Wesley getting permanently injured made my stomach drop. My voice even cracked as I pleaded. "Come on, we're family. Just a quick look, please. If something's really wrong, my life will be ruined too." But Wesley guarded that blanket like it was top secret. No matter which angle I tried, I couldn't see a thing. Just when I thought I'd managed to grab something, a piece of black fabric peeked out. Wesley's expression changed in an instant. He pushed me away, and I fell straight off the bed onto the floor. "Nolan. Are you hurt?" He reached out to help me, but moving clearly made his whole body ache. I groaned, clutching my bruised backside, and stubbornly stood up. Then, ignoring his protests, I grabbed my phone and made a call. 6. 20 minutes later, a black Maybach pulled into the driveway. Baylor stepped out carrying a medical kit, his eyes bright with curiosity. Not even a trace of midnight grumpiness, he looked way too eager to gossip. "Did your uncle really get hurt?" he asked. I bit my lip, feeling guilty. "Yeah, kind of my fault." Baylor gasped. "Wow. Never judge a beta by their size, huh? You look all delicate, but apparently you're stronger than you seem. Can you not talk nonsense? Just go check on him already." I practically dragged him upstairs. The moment Baylor reached to lift the blanket, Wesley pressed it back down and turned his head slightly toward me. His voice was low and rough. "Nolan, it's late. Go get some rest." I figured he just didn't want me to feel guilty. So I nodded obediently and left. Well, pretended to leave. In reality, I stayed right outside the door, eavesdropping. 7. Inside, Baylor sighed. "Not broken. What a pity." Then, in his usual half-English, half-Chinese mix, he added, "Your nephew said you were completely wrecked. I thought you two had, gone a little overboard. But you're fine. Totally factory condition." I had no idea what most of that meant. Baylor studied in Germany for years. And every sentence he spoke sounded like an international puzzle. But I didn't care. As long as my uncle was okay, that was all that mattered. I turned to leave, but Baylor's voice rose again, teasing as ever. Well, this black t-shirt's soaked in pheromone scent. Smells like trouble. Who's the lucky person, huh? Don't tell me you've finally fallen for someone." My heart skipped. Did Uncle Wesley actually have someone he liked? I pressed myself closer to the door, listening hard. Baylor kept talking, relentless. "Seriously, man. That kid of yours just lost his father. This is your best chance, confess before some other alpha steals him away. And if you don't, well, you'll just keep wasting your prime years. The world of alphas will mourn your loss." "You talk too much," Wesley said flatly. Baylor just laughed. "Come on, I'm trying to help. You've been pining after him forever. If you don't say anything, he'll never figure it out." Wesley's tone dropped a few degrees. Don't talk about him like that. He's not dumb, just a little slow sometimes. He'll come around, at his own pace. I can wait. Baylor rolled his eyes. Sure, keep waiting. Mr. Perfect Timing. 8. I'd grown used to being the only one Wesley treated with such care. So hearing him defend his special someone, it felt like biting into a raw lemon, sharp, sour, and bitter all at once. Baylor was still chatting away inside. But I'd lost the heart to keep listening. I dragged myself back to my room, head hanging low. That night, I had a rare dream. In it, Wesley brought home a tall, broad-shouldered man with dark skin and a cold stare. So you're Wesley's little nephew? The man sneered. A plain beta like you, living with top alphas? What a joke. Then he kicked me out into the rain. Through the downpour, I saw Wesley pinned beneath that man. And my heart shattered. The dream felt too real. When I woke up, my back was damp with cold sweat. Still half-dazed, I washed up and went downstairs for breakfast. Only to find Wesley already there. Sitting beside a man in a black shirt who looked exactly like the one from my dream. 9. His chest muscles were bulging, his arms looked like they could crush bricks. His expression was cold, intimidating, clearly not someone to mess with. I swallowed hard and picked the farthest seat possible. Why are you sitting so far away? Wesley asked lightly. There's space right here. I pretended not to hear him and forced a smile. Uncle, is this gentleman also an alpha? Yes, Wesley said. He's a top-tier alpha, same as me. He's also my... Clang! The knife scraped hard against the plate, cutting him off. I shot up from my seat, panicking. Oh no, I'm late. I have to go to school. I love school. School's the best. Don't rush, Wesley said calmly. Eat first. No, I'm full. Really? He dabbed his mouth with a napkin. I'll drive you. Before I could react, the dark-skinned man casually picked up the car keys too, as if planning to come along. My knees almost gave out. I waved my hands frantically. No need, Uncle. I have morning exercises. I'll lose credits if I'm late. Then, before either of them could say another word, I grabbed my phone, mumbled something about attendance, and bolted out the door. By the time I reached downtown, I flagged down a taxi and collapsed into the back seat. The cool morning breeze hit my face. And for some reason, my eyes stung. Wesley hadn't lied to me. He really wouldn't marry an omega. Because he was into alphas. And judging by that guy's build, it looked like Wesley was the one being overpowered. Half an hour later, the taxi stopped in front of campus. I took a deep breath, mentally preparing myself. If my dream really was a warning about the future, then I couldn't just sit around and wait for disaster. Before I got kicked out and left penniless, I needed to inherit my father's fortune first. As for Uncle Wesley, I pressed a hand to my chest, where it hurt the most. If being with another alpha is what makes him happy, then all I can do is wish him well. 10. Pregnancy shouldn't be delayed, sooner is better. During lunch, I brought Boston to a restaurant in the mall. Once the door to the private room closed, I got straight to the point. I need a child. When are you free? Let's go, make one. Boston almost spat out his soda. He stared at me in horror. What the hell are you saying? We're friends, not that kind of friends. I pulled out a napkin to help him wipe his mouth. He slapped my hand away. Don't touch me. Stay far, far away. I only want to be your brother, not your brother. My hand stung red. Ouch. This stubborn alpha really knew how to hit. Left with no choice, I explained the inheritance condition set for me. I thought he'd understand, but instead, he glared at me. 5 million a year isn't enough for you. You rich people are unbelievable. I swear, you make me want to fight capitalism myself. I tried to win him over, placing a drumstick in his bowl. Come on, bro, it's not a big deal. You're an alpha, you wouldn't lose anything. You'd enjoy it, and I'd get my inheritance. Win-win, right? Boston laughed in disbelief, smacking me on the forehead. I thought you were just naive. Turns out you're brainless too. Did all your brainpower go into your face? After half an hour of begging, he still refused. I stomped my feet anxiously. You've won acting awards, right? Can't you just help me once? Even ancient legends say heroes helped each other. Why can't you help me carry a little responsibility? Boston gasped dramatically. No wonder they call those stories wild history, they're really wild. He finally grabbed my face in both hands. Listen, please. I'm just a regular alpha. Even if I drop dead, I can't make a beta pregnant. You'll have to find a top-tier alpha or an enigma for that. 11. Clearly, alphas think faster than betas. That afternoon after class, I rushed home and sprawled on the sofa, scrolling through the school's part-time job chat. Finally, I found 2 profiles labeled Top A. I added them on WeChat. The moment I explained what I wanted, one blocked me immediately. Top-level alphas are rare. Only elite omegas are worthy of bearing our children. You, a scentless beta, are daydreaming. He even sent me the contact for a psychiatrist. I was furious. So I stomped upstairs, straight into Wesley's bedroom. Nolan? What are you doing? When Wesley returned, he found me clutching one of his shirts, sniffing it intensely. I looked up, blinking innocently. Uncle, what does your pheromone smell like? I can't sense it. After nearly an hour of trying, all I could smell was laundry detergent. Wesley stared at me, his Adam's apple bobbing. He loosened his tie and walked over slowly, tall and elegant. Want to know? He braced his hands on the bed, trapping me underneath his shadow. His handsome face drew close, the corner of his lips curving slightly. I heard, only when lips touch can 2 people sense each other's pheromones. He tapped his mouth lightly. Want to try? His voice was soft, teasing, like a sly fox inviting me into trouble. Before I even realized it, I leaned in and kissed him. 12. Our lips met, and my heart nearly exploded. Uncle, it's too much. I can't breathe. Wesley smiled faintly, brushing his fingers against my neck, holding me close. Relax. You'll only taste it if you focus. The kiss deepened until I was dizzy, gasping for air. When he finally pulled back, he looked amused and oddly content. My cheeks burned, my head spinning. A drop of saliva slipped from my lips onto his palm. Panic shot through me. Wesley had serious cleanliness issues. Without thinking, I licked it away quickly and gave him a nervous smile. See? All clean now. Aren't I a good boy? His expression changed. The warmth in his dark eyes faded, replaced by a stormy intensity one couldn't understand. Uncle? Before I could ask, he suddenly pulled me down onto the bed. My mind went blank. The next thing I knew, there was a sharp pain on my neck. I froze in shock. Uncle, what are you doing? He was trembling slightly, his voice low, hoarse, almost unrecognizable. That's when I realized. Wesley had entered his instinctive heat. I'm a beta. Not an omega. He didn't seem to hear. All I could feel was the overwhelming flood of his alpha pheromones wrapping around me like a storm. My legs gave out, my breath hitched, everything blurred. Then darkness swallowed me whole. 13. When I opened my eyes again, the first thing I saw was the chandelier above. Baylor was sitting by the bed, scrolling on his phone. When he noticed me awake, he smirked. Lucky I dropped by last night. If I hadn't, you'd probably look like a chew toy by now. Ha! He pointed at my neck. That's when I felt the dull ache there. As I groaned, Baylor burst out laughing. Serves you right. You were practically asking for it. I swallowed a painkiller and glared at him. If I'd fought back, he might have gotten hurt. I couldn't bear to hurt someone who cares about me that much. Baylor grinned wider. Oh? Someone who cares about you? You mean your precious uncle? I ignored his teasing. How is he? Is he okay? Baylor shrugged, packing away the medical kit. He's fine. Just going through a secondary differentiation. Wait, what? You mean he's turning into an omega? Baylor gave me a look that said, "Are you serious right now?" No. Alphas can only evolve into enigmas, not downgrade backward. Didn't your biology teacher explain this? I turned away, embarrassed. As he headed for the door, Baylor paused, watching me examine the red mark on my neck in the mirror. After a long silence, he sighed. Soft-hearted little beta. You're playing with fire. Keep this up, and one day you'll lose everything. Ha! What does that even mean? But he was already gone. 14. The next morning, I carried a warm container of chicken soup to visit Wesley at the ABO Pheromone Research Institute. After confirming my identity, a staff member led me to a special room. The curtain lifted slowly, revealing a glass window. Through the one-way glass, I saw Wesley, hands bound to the bed frame. My stomach dropped. He's not a criminal. Why are you tying him up like that? The staff member just shrugged. Sorry, sir. He's no longer our top client. Unless the annual funding of $10 billion continues, this is the standard treatment. I was furious. My fist moved before my brain could stop it. It wasn't until Baylor showed up, with money to smooth things over, that they let me go. In the car, Baylor didn't scold me for once. It's my fault. I didn't expect them to treat him like that. But I couldn't listen. My eyes were fixed on the raw red marks on Wesley's wrists. My chest ached. Back home, I immediately tended to his wounds with antiseptic. Baylor, ever the cautious one, put a restraint on Wesley's wrist and locked the bedroom door 5 times. Let's go. When the anesthesia wears off, his enigma pheromones could knock you out. I hovered by the door, worried. What if he gets hungry? Baylor shot me a wicked grin. Then you clean yourself up, go to him, and let him eat. My face burned. You're impossible. He laughed. If I'd come a minute later yesterday, Wesley might have already eaten you. And don't pretend, you wouldn't have called the cops. Of course not. I said instantly. Exactly. You both clearly like each other. Just stop pretending. One's too quiet, the other's too dense. Honestly, I want to smash your heads together and make you kiss already. 15. Baylor left, but his words stayed in my mind, like thunder echoing inside me. Wesley liked me. Okay, I mean, I'm handsome, smart, and overall perfect. It's not that surprising someone would like me. But still. I'm a beta. Can an enigma and a beta even make it work? I tossed and turned under my blanket all night, unable to sleep. Frustrated, I kicked the bed over and over until finally, I grabbed my phone and messaged Boston. Me, do you think an enigma could like a beta? Boston, oh? Someone's in love with you. Poor guy, he's doomed, you're dense as a brick. I froze. How do alphas read minds so easily? Me, it's not me, it's a friend. He likes an enigma but thinks it won't end well. Boston, are you kidding? Enigmas are the strongest kind, they can make a beta their exclusive partner if they want. Boston, didn't you say you wanted a kid? That's your chance, go for it. My phone felt like it was burning up. I turned on the light and gulped down a glass of cold water, but my face was still steaming hot. When I didn't reply, Boston texted again. Boston, listen, chances like this don't come twice. Betas rarely get the chance. If you want it, don't hesitate. I bit my lip, hesitating, then typed back. Me, what if it doesn't work? Boston, then try again. Betas are tough, just keep trying until it does. He even sent me a cloud folder full of study materials. Boston, watch these. You'll learn something. Maybe use a pillow or two for support. Curious, I clicked one. 2 minutes later, I slammed my phone shut, my face bright red. Ugh. Wesley was right. Alphas are all terrible. 16. The transformation period was painfully long. For more than 10 days, I stayed outside Wesley's room without leaving, just like how he once sat by my bedside when I had a fever as a kid. During those days apart, I finally had time to sort out my feelings. I used to think my affection for Wesley was just admiration, like a nephew's love for an uncle. But looking back, it was never that simple. Whenever I saw an Omega confess to him, I'd secretly pray he'd reject them. Whenever I scraped my knee, I'd show it off to him, just to get a comforting pat. On every birthday, I insisted he take the first bite of cake. And my wishes, they always had the same ending. I hope he stays with me forever. Once I realized the truth, I didn't even try to fight it. Every morning, I'd face the mirror and whisper to myself, "Good morning, future spouse." Finally, after endless waiting, I heard a voice from inside the locked room. "Nolan." I froze, then burst into a grin. I unlocked every bolt and rushed in. Wesley was weak from fasting. When I crashed into him, we both fell onto the bed. "Uncle." I buried my face against his chest. "I missed you so much." His hand gently stroked my back. Pressing my ear to his heartbeat, I caught a faint scent of lime, fresh and clean, unmistakably his. "I'm sorry for worrying you," he murmured. "I don't remember much from my transformation period. I didn't do anything strange, did I?" The wound on my neck had already healed, but at his question, I felt the spot burn again. I quickly shook my head. Of course not. But my heart was racing, and I wasn't sure if I was lying more to him or to myself. 17. After saying that, I took Wesley's hand and led him to the kitchen. "Uncle, tell me what you want to eat, I'll warm it up for you." When I opened the double-door fridge, it was packed with food: braised pork, sweet and sour fish, marinated beef, even Buddha jumps over the wall. Wesley looked surprised, then gently ruffled my hair with a guilty smile. "It's my fault. You've been eating delivery meals all this time." He paused, then added, "What do you want to eat? I'll ask my assistant to bring fresh ingredients. I'll cook." When I was a kid, I once had a bowl of stinky tofu outside and got food poisoning for 3 days. Wesley sat by the bathroom door the whole time, terrified I'd dehydrate. After that, he took over every one of my meals, until I went to college and could sneak out for junk food once in a while. But today, I didn't want him to overwork himself. I gently pushed him toward the dining table. "These dishes are from a 5-star restaurant. I order new ones every day so you'd have a warm meal once you got better. Today, let me do the cooking, okay?" Seeing my excitement, Wesley chuckled softly and finally nodded. Halfway through dinner, I remembered what Baylor said. "Uncle, last time you said you didn't like omegas, then, do you like alphas?" Wesley didn't hesitate. "No." "Then what about that tall alpha bodyguard?" He peeled a shrimp, dipped it in vinegar, and brought it to my lips. "My older brother just left. Things were unstable at the company, and I was worried someone might target you. So I hired a bodyguard." My eyes widened in shock. So Baylor wasn't lying. Wesley didn't have some secret alpha preference. He didn't like omegas, didn't like alphas. That meant he only liked betas. Which basically meant, he liked me. "What's with that grin?" he asked, amused. I grinned wider. "Uncle, let's go get our marriage license next Monday." 18. Plop. The shrimp fell onto the table. Wesley looked up sharply, his voice trembling just a little. Nolan, what did you just say? I stood, walked over, and sat across his lap, wrapping my arms around his neck. Let's get married, Uncle. You like me, right? And I like you too. His usually calm face froze in pure shock. His lips parted like he wanted to speak, but he couldn't even breathe properly. How did you? I cheerfully betrayed my accomplice. Uncle Baylor told me. He said you liked me. I leaned close to his ear and whispered. Oh, Anne. I found your diary in the study safe. Along with some of my stuff. Wesley's ears instantly turned red. The man who could handle the trickiest reporters without flinching was suddenly flustered and shy in front of me. I couldn't help but smile mischievously. Clearing my throat, I started to recite what I remembered from his diary. 19. I don't want to just be Nolan's uncle. I want to be the one by his side. His clothes smell so good, just like him. Soft, sweet, and impossible to forget. Stop, Wesley covered my mouth, his ears glowing red like embers. His dark eyes reflected my teasing grin. He let out a low, helpless sigh. You're going to be the end of me. When he finally moved his hand away, he smiled faintly and said, Come here. The world seemed to go quiet. Then warmth touched my lips. When I could finally catch my breath, I whispered against him, half complaining. Uncle, you tricked me. Baylor said you never told him that kissing could let a beta sense an alpha's scent. Instead of getting flustered, Wesley smiled softly, brushing his nose against mine. Guess I've been caught. My clever little one isn't so clueless after all. I puffed my chest, proud. Of course. I know everything. He laughed quietly, eyes full of affection. Yeah. My Nolan is the smartest. 20. Baylor was the first to find out about us. The moment he stepped in, he wrinkled his nose dramatically. Whoa, you two, did something happen? I froze. Ha! He smirked. You're glowing like a walking lemon. Anyone would think you're an enigma now. My face burned red, and I buried myself against Wesley's chest. You talk too much. Wesley glared. Keep running your mouth, and you're eating dinner with the dog. Baylor just laughed, kicked off his shoes, and made himself at home. Hey, I'm just saying, if it weren't for me, you'd still be over here awkwardly pretending to be his uncle. I silently screamed for someone to shut him up. I gave Wesley a pleading look, but instead of saving me, he pulled out a chair for Baylor. Unbelievable. That night, Wesley was in the shower when my phone buzzed. It was Boston again, messaging me after half a month. So? Any results yet? Not yet, I replied. Even though Wesley and I had gotten really close a few times, he always stopped himself, saying softly. An enigma's scent is too strong. You're not built to handle it. I don't want to hurt you. I sighed and started typing a reply. But before I could hit send, Boston's name flashed across my screen. He was calling. 21. I answered the call without thinking. Nolan, don't tell me you've been scammed, Boston's voice came through, half teasing, half serious. No way you've been with an enigma for 2 weeks and still got no result. Maybe he's not even a real enigma, could be just a regular alpha pretending. He kept rambling, his tone getting more and more inappropriate until I panicked and hung up. Too late. Wesley stepped out of the bathroom, towel in hand, watching me with that combat dangerous look in his eyes. Top-tier alpha donor, he repeated slowly. The room went silent. Even in the dark, I could feel the tension in the air, sharp, heavy, suffocating. And no, you heard it wrong, Uncle, I stammered, backing away a little. He took one step forward, the scent of citrus soap and steam surrounding me. Really? I swallowed hard, trying to laugh it off. I swear, it's not what you think. All right, he said softly. Then explain. Just as I was about to push the blame onto Boston, my phone buzzed again. A message popped up from someone labeled Top Alpha, Donor Candidate Number 2. Wesley reached for it before I could. With one hand, he held my phone up and read the text out loud, every word slow and deliberate. Sorry, my account was locked. Still looking for a donor? $100K for lab service, $500K for in-person. My entire body froze. Oh no. He used my full name. That's never a good sign. I did the only thing I could, ran. Or tried to. Before I could even reach the edge of the bed, he caught me easily, one arm wrapping around my waist and pulling me back. Running away, little one, he murmured near my ear, voice low and rough. I just wanted to help with the family legacy, I blurted out. So you wouldn't have to work so hard raising me. Wesley paused for a long moment. Then his voice dropped even lower. Is that so? I didn't know whether to breathe or stop breathing. He leaned in close, and his words brushed against my ear, calm but full of warning. Nolan, you really shouldn't say things you don't mean. The warmth of his breath, the nearness of his voice, it was too much. My thoughts scattered completely. Uncle, please. But before I could finish, he sighed softly, his tone shifting from sharp to tender. You drive me crazy sometimes, he said, his fingers brushing my cheek. But you also make it impossible not to care. The tension slowly melted away into something gentler, quieter. Later that night, as I sat on the bed catching my breath, Wesley looked at me with that calm smile again. Next time, he said, no more borrowing trouble, or donors. I nodded furiously. Never again. He chuckled, brushing my hair with his hand. Good. That's my Nolan. And just like that, the storm passed, leaving only the faint scent of citrus and a heartbeat that refused to calm down.